What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Showcase. I got, well, it is a racing game, I guess, but this one's definitely a little bit different. This is another game that came on my radar thanks to my buddy Technomancer, who's just been throwing some really cool stuff at me lately. So this is Buck Up and Drive, and when I first looked at this, I thought that it was going to be sort of a modern-day Outrun, and it kind of is, but not really. So this comes from a single-person developer, and it's a relatively inexpensive game. Little bit one note, but it's kind of interesting as well. So it's got two modes here. The principal one is this endless road one, and that's what I'm going to show you. Little bit of customization, things like that. Purely cosmetic, doesn't affect the core game at all. And as you can see, there's additional cars and there's environments in this that you can unlock. I actually have played more of this on my gaming laptop, but unfortunately this doesn't have cloud saves. So the unlocks I have there don't match up with what I've got here. I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually played this game too much yet, but that's also because this game's fairly easy to pick up and see. So it probably does look like Outrun, and it kind of is, but as you can see, it's got some other mechanics to it. So this game is a little bit like if you combined Outrun with Tony Hawk and combined it with some cringy meme humor on occasion. The humor's not throughout it, but it's a little sometimes, especially a lot of the billboards that go by, though they're kind of hard to see unless you're really looking for them. So your objective here, much like the old school arcade game Outrun, is to get to the end of an environment before you run out of time, to keep going as long as you can, and to rack up the most points. Now in Outrun, that's purely racing. In this one, you can do a Mario Kart style drift here that can give you a speed boost. By using that, you can ram into other cars, and there's also jumps that you can take, in which you can do stunts in the air by moving around the analog stick. I am playing this with a controller, though you can play this with a keyboard as well. I think a controller would be better, though. And you can also, by taking the jumps, land on those guardrails and grind them Tony Hawk style to build up extra points. If you hit enough cars like that, you will eventually attract the police, and the police get progressively harder as the game goes on. And they have kind of a cool mechanic, though, so I'm going to try to grab one of them so I can show you what it looks like. And you can't actually die in this. The only way you fail is by running out of time. If you hit things, much like Outrun as well, if you hit things, you slow down. So here's a cop. So you see the cops can do hilarious stunt stuff like that too, and what they try to do is attack you by sort of drifting backwards into you. And your goal is to build up a drift and hit them before they hit you. You do that enough times, and you take them out. You finish an area, you get to choose another area. There are a decent number of environments in this, and they do unfortunately repeat a lot, because this game, unlike Outrun, is endless. There's no actual end to this, except when you run out of time. The longer you go, the bigger a score you get, and that's kind of the main point. And there you go. There's a little bit of the cringe humor there. And when you take out the cop, you get extra points for it. And later on, the cops will not only get more hit points, but they will do things like throw flyers out that'll distract you. They'll throw these crazy big spike balls. They'll do a thing where they launch in the air and the car comes down on you like a missile that you've got to try to dodge. Needless to say, this is not a simulator. But as you can see, it's very, very fast-paced, and it does control well. The controls are very snappy, very responsive. Anytime I screw up in this like that, it's definitely my fault more than the game's. And you see in the upper left there, we got a score, and that keeps going up. The game does have online leaderboards. They're simple, but they are here, which in a game that's this inexpensive is very nice to see. I do appreciate that. And that's kind of the core of this mode, and if you're good at this, you can keep this going for quite some time. But, you know, Outrun, I love Outrun. It's one of my favorite arcade games, but it's hard as hell. Like, it's very hard to get through more than a couple of stages in that on one quarter, unless you're really, really good. This is not like that. This is designed to be endless, and there we go. This is designed to be endless, and later stages do definitely get more challenging, but it's not hard to keep a run of this going for quite some time. And you can honestly play it safe. You don't have to hit other cars. Hitting other cars gets you more points, as does doing stunts like that. So you want to do that to max your score. But if you just want to play it safe and just race, and, you know, to not have things like that happen, and make sure that you maintain your place on the leaderboards, yeah, you can. It's fine. and it supports that. So it's kind of cool. It actually allows you to play aggressively or chill, depending on what you want, which I think is kind of cool. You can see there in the bottom right as well, it will sometimes give you key presses that you can get to do an extra drift that will boost you up faster. And this is kind of how things progress. And every few levels as well, you will run into a rival. You don't have to beat them to pass a level, but you get bonuses if you do that, including, I believe, unlocking their cars. So that's how you get more unlocks in this game. Like I said, I've unlocked more than I have on this PC. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's since been patched in, but at the time, this game didn't have cloud saves for whatever reason, so the progress I made on my laptop didn't transfer over. I could have done that by hand, but I just didn't bother. So yeah, that's this mode, and it kind of goes on like that. And then this other mode that they have, which is called Shifty Gear, is a battle mode. It can be either against the computer, or you can bring in a second player locally if you want. And this is kind of funny. This is also, again, fairly one note, but kind of amusing. So pick different environments. You can set a time limit if you want. And your objective here, it's a Outrun style fighting game. Yeah, I ain't kidding you. It's ridiculous. You can make your car jump on demand. You can drift into your opponent. In fact, you have to. And your objective is within the time limit, or no time limit if you so choose. You got to do the most damage. It's ridiculous and totally goofy and actually a lot of fun. The computers... Oh, this was a draw. Dang it. All right. Let's try this again. The AI is no pushover in this mode, I will say. He's tough, and it actually will give you a decent challenge. But yeah, it's a goofy mode, and it's utterly ridiculous, but you can have some fun with this, especially with another player. Local only, of course, but you could Steam Remote play this if you wanted, or just play it locally. This is a game, again, I think that would be really at home on the Switch, because things like this would be good in the sense that you can take it with you and, you know, just pull out the Joy-Cons really quick and enjoy it in that regard. I think that would actually be pretty cool. So yeah, this mode's fun too, and these are the only two things that the game has right now. So it's not very content heavy, but it's well designed. Like I said, I could do without some of the attempts at humor in it, but that's just me. And the humor can be easily ignored. But from a gameplay perspective and mechanics, I think it's really cool. You know, it's doing only a couple of things, but doing them well. It's very inexpensive, and I like the look of it. The controls are very snappy and very, very good. I mean, if this game didn't nail the feel, it would be no good at all. But it totally does nail that really well. And the only other complaint I would have is that it only seems to have this one music track that is fairly short and repeats and is just pretty eh. I really wish it had more music, but you could turn it off and play your own music as well if you wanted to. Again, this is not an expensive package, so, you know, there's certain things you can forgive being omitted from it, in my opinion. But yeah, there's not much more to show you on this one, really. This is a fairly quick one to showcase, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's bad by any means. This is choosing to focus a little bit, and I think it does a very good job of that. And it's just goofy fun, you know. It's enjoyable. So you see, here's a little bit of the information on how to play. Makes it pretty straightforward. Yeah, this is a game I think it's only on PC right now, though the title will say if that's otherwise. I would really love to see this on a lot of other things, because it's just good, simple, dumb fun, and it plays well. And I think it's priced quite appropriately for that. Yeah, this was a bit of a pleasant surprise. Like I said, I honestly kind of wish you could just turn off the billboards and the humor stuff, but really, it's not that big a deal, and the billboards you can barely see, so I mean, who cares, right? At the end of the day, it's still a great game to play, and that's sort of the key part of it. But yeah, that is Buck Up and Drive. It's good at what it does. It's narrowly focused, and like I said, priced appropriately, and it's just goofy, fast, dumb fun. It's not the modernization of the idea of Outlook that I maybe ultimately hoped it was, but I think what it offers is actually good fun. If you just like good mechanics focused arcade stupidity, this is perfect for that. I think it's pretty cool. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you like what you saw here, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a great deal when you do that. Also, my videos are now going up on Odyssey as well. There's a link to that in the description. I would really appreciate a follow over there as well. I'm trying to expand to be on YouTube, see if we can get a little bit more reach around here. And you can also follow me at twitch.tv/pxabstraction. I do all kinds of variety streams there, including showcasing indies you don't necessarily see over here. And I have a great little community over there, and I'd love to see you be a part of it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you on the next Indie Showcase. You folks have yourselves a great one. Take it easy, everybody.